It is official. The new VRAINS world has been announced. It's coming out in about 2 weeks. What does that mean? What's going to happen to Duel Links? Let's hop into it. Let's find out. Now, with the new worlds coming out September 28th, I will be doing a subathon, which means on twitch.tv/Dkayed, I'm going to be endlessly streaming. No stop, balls to the wall, Duel Links, everything Yu-Gi-Oh related. We're going to be covering the Duel Links new worlds and possibly even be having a Duel Links Meta Championship series, so look out for that. Now, what is happening with this? First of all, you're thinking, what's going to happen to the fields? Well, let's watch. You now could choose your monster zone when summoning. Oh my Jesus. Now, spell and trap cards will still be automatically placed. So cards like Impermanence maybe are not coming with the new VRAINS worlds. So let's watch the him Link summon now. Get that Link ready. That is a Link 2. He's using from the hand a monster that helps you Link summon. So one from the field, one from the hand, and he did choose the Link zone. There you go. There you go. And I think we have a cutscene on the next one. Let's see the cutscene. Where's the cutscene one? Let's see, let's see. Okay, he's getting it ready. This is it. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's watch the cutscene and we'll continue with the rest of the news. Please don't copyright strike me. Choosing the zone. Choose the zone. Let's go, let's go. Link 3. Decode Talker. Oh my. Damn. Now I'm going to tell you why you should care about the extra monster zones, even if you don't plan on Link summoning. All the older decks are going to get boosted by this. So before going for the news, I'm going to show you this Photoshop I made. So this is what the field looks like for Master Duel. And Duel Links, it's going to look like this. Boom. Just like that. Top tier Photoshopping. And on top of that top tier Photoshopping, I'm going to show you some plays you could not have made before, and now you can. So we all know cards like the Resonators. The Resonators can now, let me move this all in the back now. Oh my Jesus, let me put this, I messed up. Okay, there we go. The Resonators, you can now use the extra monster zone to summon your Red Rising Dragon. Then with your Crimson Resonator, it can now actually summon 2 monsters from the deck. Otherwise, this was not possible. You'd have to have your Rising Dragon in the main monster zones, and you can only summon 1 other monster with your Crimson Resonator. And that means now it is possible to summon a boss monster like the Red Supernova Dragon. So let's look at that real quick and why that was not possible before. Supernova, Supernova. Let's close this real quick. This requires 3 tuners plus a non-tuner synchro. That's 4 monsters. So even if you're not Link summoning, you now have a 4th monster zone to summon a monster that previously was not summonable. Now let's look at some other stuff. What about the Quantal cards? Well, right now, you can't even properly summon the Quantal because to summon the Magnus Quantal with the field spell, it requires you to summon the Magnus on the fields and then attach them as Exceed materials. Well, you can't do that right now. You'd have to have at least 1 in the graveyard. Then you could summon the Magnus, and then it's not going to have as much materials. So that's definitely a big change there, where you now can summon the Magnus as it was intended to be summoned. And what's going to happen with Pendulum Summoning? With Pendulum Summoning, they had to create an arbitrary rule where you could only summon 1 from the extra monster zone. Well, now you could summon multiple from the extra monster zone as long as you have the link arrows pointing to your monster zones. So if you have no monsters on the field, you could summon the Doom King Armageddon into an extra monster zone like it's a Link monster. Otherwise, if you have a Link monster for pointing, let's look for a Link that would be able to point to summon multiple. So let's type in Link monster. Let's look at one that points down here. We'll just grab this one, 5-headed Link Dragon. So let's copy that image. We're doing this live, no outtakes. Boom. Now, you, with this on the fields, because it has an arrow pointing to here and here, you can now summon double Pendulum from the extra deck, just like that. So it's kind of like a mini boost to Pendulum if you're going to even be able to combine Link and Pendulum in a successful deck. Now, there are some issues with this that I don't know if Konami's accounted for. They might be doing something about this that I'm not so sure what to do. Let's see. If you were to summon a monster like Kit's pointing to a spot that you cannot summon to. That's the field zone. And the Tri-Brigade monsters would require you to have that open monster zone to summon. So you're thinking, okay, Dkayed, it's simple. Just move the Kit over here, and then you could summon over here. Well, what if the opposing player outplays you by summoning their monster into the extra monster zone? Well, I guess it would be this one. So what if they have their own? This looks so messy. And they summon it into the extra monster zone that you need just to block you on the first turn play. That's it. Now, you know that on the first turn, if this were to be a combo, you would summon this here. And now on my turn, if this were to be a main combo, I could only summon it over here and I get screwed. So I do think that potentially, you tell me if this is a reality, they might take a card like this and move the arrow. They might errata the card. The arrow will point downward instead of in the corner. They might make that change because counterplaying before the duel even really begins, counterplaying your opponent's main strategy, potentially, that's going to be a big deal, which you didn't have to deal with in the TCG nor Master Duel. Now, after my awesome field demonstration, I'm going to go into the rest of the news. Boom. What is good? What is good here? We have players will receive a ton of stuff. Now, let's look at the translation. 10 packs of Link Revolution with a guaranteed ultra rare. Wow, I don't think they gave us that last year. 1,000 gems, a skill ticket, a character ticket. I think with a character ticket and skill ticket and all of the stuff you're getting, I think you could potentially either come back to the game or make a brand new account and probably not have to farm at all. And you could just hop right in. That would be ideal. If I'm Konami and I want people to play on the new VRAINS world, which we need people to get in and play this game, we need to make it as accessible as possible. Remove all the barriers of entry. You are an SR Dream Tickets, which allows you to just get whatever card you want. So if we look at the most popular cards, ultra rare ticket, you could craft a Book of Moon, hopefully. And I say hopefully because the Dream Tickets are kind of restrictive. They don't let you craft anything. They let you craft up to a certain point. But I think Book of Moon would be eligible, being the most popular card. So very good. You could hop in with the staple Book of Moon. And what about Super Rare? Super Rare, most popular, not enemy control, that's a free card. You could maybe craft some Treacherous Trap Holes. Maybe you want Malevolent Sin. So that's very good. Prismatic Tickets. The difference between these and the Dream Tickets are these pretty much can only get the free to obtain cards, the farm cards. So this will save you time. The Dream Tickets will save you money. Prismatic, Code Talker, Cyberse Wizard, and Backup Secretary. So these will just be some free to obtain premium cards. Okay. 10 packs plus 1 UR campaign ends October 31st. So you have about a month to claim your rewards. TGS Sample Decks. Now we have some sample decks of what their decks looks like. Now, this Salamangreat deck looks great. I can't believe they would give you all this. Are they actually doing that? If we were to look on Master Duel of what a Salamangreat deck looks like, again, we don't know if this is going to be obtainable. I don't think so. I don't know, because maybe the people playing these decks, they were cheating, like an NPC, just using cards that we would not be getting. Otherwise, it looks pretty close to how the deck's actually built. Let's click on the Salamangreat deck type. The main things that would be missing, so as we could see, what they have is they have this, that, Heat Leo. The Access Code Talker is going to be a big deal if they were to ever release that. And it looks like the only cards that they do not have that are pretty big to the deck would be the main back row, which is essentially searchable with the Gazelle. And besides that, you got back row removal. You have recycle fire monsters and the spell and traps in the graveyard. Let's go back into that real quick. So I'm not going to spend too much time reviewing this entire deck, but I mean, this seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. I guess the main thing we're missing here is monster removal. That's a problem. But what its other effect is, you could target one face-up monster in the field and one monster in your graveyard. The attack of the first target becomes equal to the other targets. So you would reduce the opponent's monster on the field so you could attack over it, and this will also deal a back row. So this actually, it looks like a fun deck. Looks good. Looks good. And then we have the skills that come with it, of course. Playmaker, Soul Burner, Go, Onizuka, Goki links. We have the Playmaker links. Let's keep on looking. Link Summoning will add extra monster zones and the ability to choose which monster zone to summon to, as I already demonstrated. Pendulum Summoning, already demonstrated that. Players will receive an 8th extra deck slot. That's huge. I love it. That's so good. Remember, even if you're not Link Summoning, this is a big boost for you, the extra monster zone. Now, you might have some concerns of, what if you don't want to use the extra monster zone? Do you have to use it? Because there was a previous ruling back in the day where you had to use it, but don't worry about that. You don't. You don't. You could pretend like this never even happened. The extra monster zone is not a restriction to you in any way whatsoever if you're playing a non-Link deck. It's literally just a benefit. You could just use your main monster zones. You don't have to summon the extra monster zone if you don't want to. It's optional. Optionally have 4 monsters on the fields. A pretty damn good option if you ask me. Now, let's keep on continuing to the good stuff. And you do not need to summon a Link monster to summon your extra deck monsters. Don't have to worry about that. We have Playmaker with the new character, ooh, Transcode Talker. That is very good. This will boost up your other monster, even boosting itself to 2800 attack. Also untargetable. That's pretty nice. Very good, very good. Add a Decode Talker and a Firewall Dragon. Oh, damn. Firewall Dragon added to your extra deck through the skill. So not obtainable as a card, I don't think. And this is going to be good. This is quick effects. Spin a card on the field or graveyard back to the hand equal to the number of monsters it's co-linked to, which means the arrows are pointing to each other. Very cool. When your life points are 1,000 or below, add 1 random Code Talker monster from your extra to your extra from outside your deck. What? What? Wait, what? Add a random Code Talker to your extra from outside, a random one. That means you could randomly add the Code Talker, Access Code Talker? No way. If you don't, this is a monster that can become very easily 5,300 attack and destroy the entire field. To think that this could randomly be added among, oh, I mean, there's too many for that to randomly be added. There has to be some sort of restriction where it's not going to include Access Code Talker. But 13 I'm seeing here, hopefully there's no alternative reprints here. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely insane. Wow, that's really freaking random. Maybe we'll know which randomly will be added. The Go Onizuka, what does this one do? 2+ Gokis, 3 monsters. So it's important to note that when Link Summoning, that if your monster is Link 2 or higher, it could count as the extra Link material. So if you, with this monster, you could use a Link 2 plus another monster to make this. And if you wanted to, the monster is either going to be its Link rating or count as just 1 card to make a monster. So for example, if you wanted to make an Access Code Talker, this requires 2 or more effect monsters, which means you could use this as 1, which would count as 3 because the Access Code Talker is Link 4, and then you just need 1 other monster. Otherwise, you could use 4 Goki Great Ogres to make 1 Access Code Talker, or 2 Great Ogres to make an Access Code Talker, but 3 could not make an Access Code Talker. Do you understand that? Hopefully that's not confusing. Select a Goki or Dino Wrestler in your graveyard that was destroyed by battle. Send a Goki or Dino Wrestler with the same levels as selected from your hand to the graveyard. Play the selected monster on your field in defense. So a good way to recycle. When any effect is saying summon a monster in defense, that's essentially another way of also saying you can't summon a Link monster, because Link monsters cannot be summoned in defense. Also worth noting that the most popular card being Book of Freaking Moon cannot be used on Link monsters, but it can be used to prevent the summon of a Link monster. You cannot link with a face down monster, so just flip them down. All right. I don't know if that's going to fall off big time. I think Compulse is going to become even more popular. Compulse, a big one, usable on Link, usable on everything. Damn. Damn. Soul Burner. I mean, we're actually getting these. Okay, that's great. We're just missing the traps, though, to make it even better. This is like a Solemn Judgment. This is pop multiple cards in the field. Where's the disruption on the opponent's turn is what I'm asking. I guess your disruption is going to be cards like Compulse, Book of Moon, Enemy Controller, Burning Draw. Turn 5 and your life's at 23 or below. Turn 5, damn. Pay life until you reach 100 life. So potentially paying 2,200 life. For every 1,000 paid, add a card from the top of your deck to your hand, not draw. Add from the top to your hand. So draw 2 at turn 5 or more if you're at 2,300 or below. Okay. And your deck needs to contain 10 or more Salamangreat cards. You what, mate? I like skills like, I'm not sure how good this will be, but I love skills that restrict you like this because I like the individuality of Duel Links decks compared to Master Duel. I want broken skills that require massive restrictions on the deck type cards you have to play. Now, Blue Angel is going to be coming at a later date. Link Revolution plus the structure deck. I'm going to be streaming all this. I can't freaking wait. Holy mo... What? Pot of Duality. Pot of Duality. Now, there are cards that allow you to special summon and then play a card that will restrict you from special summoning. But Pot of Duality states that you cannot special summon during the turn. So if you special summon before activating this, you can't activate this. And then you obviously can't special summon afterward. So that's huge, though. Pot of Duality, as long as you're playing a deck that would just want to set up on the turn 1. I'm not sure if anything on the tier list would meet that requirement. This likes to special summon. I think all these decks like to special summon on the first turn, but control decks, big time. Top 3, pick a card, crazy. Cynet Mining. This is a generic. Any deck could play this. Add a Cyburst from your deck to your hand by discarding a card. That's a staple in the Salamangreat deck. This is going to get things started. Very good. Heat Leo, deal with the back row. We got Decode Talker, very cool. Link Slayer, if you control no monsters, special summon this card. You can discard up to 2 cards, target that many back row cards on the field, destroy them. Very nice. Encode Talker, what is this? Once per turn during damage calculation. Let me see real quick. Is this even used in Master Duel? Encode Talker. Does not mean it's going to, it's a normal. See what Konami really thinks about it? It's a normal card and barely used at all. But let's see what it could do. Could this be good in Duel Links? Before damage calculation, if your monster... By the way, if it's 2+ Cyberse monsters, that does not mean you could use 2 Cyberse monster plus a non-Cyberse monster. So if you use 3 monsters, all 3 must be Cyberse. This is the requirement for every monster used, and it's at minimum 2. Now, if this monster points... Okay, let's read this again. Once per turn, before damage calculation, if your monster, this card points to, battles an opponent's monster with higher attack than it, you can make that monster unable to be destroyed by battle. You take no damage. After damage calculation, have this or one monster it points to gain attack equal to the attack of that battled opponent's monster until the end of this turn. Damn, kind of complicated. And, okay, that's going to be interesting. Let's see. And this is the video. I can't watch it because it's going to be copyright striked. I'll link to it in the comments, though. Let's see, what are people excited about? Playmatch sleeves with more of a serious tone of Yugi. Oh, the sleeves. Do we have the sleeves? Where are the sleeves at? Where the picture of the sleeves? Where they at? There. Oh, Gia's got it. There. Gia really likes this. She is excited to be streaming this alongside me. Oh, my. Oh, my. Let's see what else people are saying. They like the serious tone. That's what VRAINS is all about. It's not a joke. It's not the GX Academy. We're not all laughing. This ain't funny. You die in the VRAINS world, I think, if you lose. Pot of Duality seems like a nice card for Yosenju. Some downvotes. Konami, take my money. I agree. Konami, take the 8th extra slot and the 4th extra month. The 4th monster zone for anyone to use. That is great. Wolf and Gazelle for Salamangreat. Yeah, I could not believe that they are releasing both of those already, but the deck doesn't really have disruption. We'll see. 10 packs of guaranteed. Yeah, that's new. That's new. That's new. They really want you back. The MVP here is the 8th extra deck slot. All right, so people are really excited for Salamangreat. I'm excited for this. Let me know if you're okay with this unedited video of Raw just telling you how I feel, and hopefully we get those numbers up. I don't want to be toxic by showing you this. I want to look forward to a good future, but I'll just show you right now that objectively, Duel Links has had a big chunk out of its behind from the Master Duel release. It is cannibalized the game. As you can see, January is when, and I know this is just Steam, but also on mobile, the numbers also went down. I could show that another day. January is right before Master Duel's release, and the player base kind of got cut in half from 7,800 players. I mean, look at these numbers here. This is average players online and not total players. So over the course of an entire day, 7,000 players could equate to about 100,000 players. And then this new number could be 50,000 players over an entire day of average players online. And right now we're at 3,200, which is more than half gone. So hopefully, if this is going to be a very good VRAINS release, I'm looking forward to it. This could double. Maybe we can get back to 6,000 players. Still not back to its former glory. A lot of people did leave for Master Duel, but I would love if this could even jump back to its former glory. If this is enough to get TCG players, Master Duel players to even try the game out, Konami has a huge opportunity. They have a chance for a first impression all over again. The first impression is all that's going to matter to people checking the game out. So if people brand new to Duel Links hop in and this is enough to get dueling with the Link monsters and have a good time and they don't have to farm or deal with any gotcha nonsense, then I think that Duel Links is going to be in an amazing spot. So Konami, please do not mess this up. I'll be streaming this entire VRAINS world. I want Duel Links to be successful. I desperately want it to be so. I want to go back to the glory days. Who wants to go back with me? If you're not a Duel Links player, let me know if you plan on at least trying this out. We're going to have new player guides, all the good stuff, tournaments, and that's the end of the video. Thank you so much. We are out.